Morning, everybody. It's Sunday. We made it through another week. Yay! I don't know how your week has been, but mine's been, I actually got thinking about it, and I thought, what on earth am I going to get down on there and talk about? I have no idea. And for somebody like myself who really doesn't shut up most of the time, that's pretty big. I don't know if you saw my last video, but I'm pretty excited about it. Other people, yeah, they explain things away. But in 53 seconds into my last video, just getting started, sitting here, I'm talking, didn't notice anything. When I reviewed it, I looked, and around up the stairs here, it's not even in my peripheral. Up the stairs around, I don't know, the fourth or fifth stair, something like that. Something comes down and around, and it goes, and it flies in front of me and goes away. Now, there was something else that came up and went this way. I call them orbs. I've always believed in the paranormal. I always believed in energy in the world. And I talked to my daughter about it. She saw it. She went, "Mom, that was just a hair." It's like, hair, my foot. My foot. It wasn't a hair. She forgets when she grew up in a really active house, as I did. I've always been in an active house. Now, saying that, I don't know if it was the houses or whether it's me. Like, something's attracted to me. I have no idea. But yeah, I was sitting here and I'm reviewing. I'm thinking, holy crap, what's that thing? And I frame by frame, I slow it down. I look at it again. And like, what? Yeah, no, that's not hair. It's not, because hair doesn't, it doesn't move like that. You know, even with the distortion of the camera or whatever, however you want to explain it. Personally, I believe it wasn't a piece of hair. I actually thought it was an orb. Now, that being said, even when I was a kid, growing up in the family home, not this one, where I personally grew up in Ontario, I remember sitting downstairs after school. You know, you get home from school, every kid wants a snack, watch TV for a bit. So I'd get home, and I'd be with my sister, and we'd be downstairs in the basement. That's where our rec room was. And all of a sudden, you know, we're watching TV, you know, Gilligan's Island's on or something. All right, I'm dating myself. Okay, yeah, I understand that. But Gilligan's Island's on. We're all excited about it. We're watching, getting right into it, and all of a sudden the light to the stairs start going off and on, off and on, off and on. It's like, okay, well, you can brush that off as faulty electrical or something. But then you'd hear footsteps running up and down the hall. It's like, what the hell was that? Like, nobody else is home. Mom and Dad's at work, right? It's like nobody else is there except for me and my sister sitting downstairs. I look at her, she'd look at me, and it's like, did you hear that? Yeah. Well, don't you think we better go check? Yeah, maybe. And here we are, like 8 and 10 years old, and you know, you're grabbing broomstick or something. It's like, here I come. It's like, well, what the hell are we gonna do? Anyway, things like that happen all the time, even to my parents. All of a sudden, 11 o'clock at night, I hear my mom and dad. We're upstairs sleeping in our beds, right? Mom and dad are downstairs. It's their time to watch TV. And all of a sudden, you hear Mom yelling up, "Will you girls get back into bed?" It's like, I am. They heard somebody running up and down the hallway. They thought it was us out of bed running around, goofing around, right? Like, I asked my mom today, like, do you remember that? Oh, yeah, it used to happen all the time. And when my girls were growing up, There was another little place we lived in, and one gentleman did die in that house. He died right in the living room. And the very first night we moved in, I'll never forget this. The very first night we moved in, I had, those big picnic baskets, the rattan picnic baskets, ones with the heavy lids on them, and they're about, I don't know, about that big. Well, I had one of those, and I had nowhere to put it. And I'm literally moving in that night. And I got the girls' bed set up, and I just passed out on a mattress. Now, before I went to bed, I took this basket because it was in the way. I took it downstairs, and it was just like a crappy little basement, downstairs in the closet, and I put it up on a shelf in the closet. I closed the door, went upstairs, passed out on my mattress. The girls were already sleeping. Everybody else had gone by that point. All fine and dandy. Nothing happened. Passed out, had a good sleep. Woke up in the morning, and I looked over, and I'm not even in bed yet. I'm just opening my eyes. I look over, and what's beside me? It's the picnic basket. And it's like, how on earth did that get there? I had no idea. I asked the girls, did you bring this upstairs? Like, why would they? They were so young, they probably couldn't even reach the shelf. And I don't think they even knew I did it because they were already in bed before I did this. Sure enough, there it is. Like, you gotta talk about freak me out. I was totally freaked out. It's like, okay, that's just the first night. That's just hours after I got into the place. There used to be sliding glass doors to walk outside from our I guess our kitchen. You'd walk out to a patio, and it was a double pane one. So there's two glass, and in between the panes, when we first moved in, the gentleman that lived there was a big man. Okay, when we moved in there, somehow he had got his handprint. You can tell because it's all, you get the oil off your hands onto the glass. And I figured out it was in between the panes of glass. Now, how that happened, I have no idea. Because I tried to clean off, and it wasn't on the outside, it was in between. Okay, that established. There was only one handprint when I first moved in there. Now, I lived there for, oh my goodness, after quite a few years, can't even remember now. A few years I lived in this house. And by the time I moved out, or even before that, because we had those doors replaced. Okay, so when the doors were replaced, there were 10 handprints in between the glass panes. There was no condensation in between the glass panes. There was no, dirt or anything like that. They were solid, like they were airtight. So I could see somebody saying, well, maybe the handprints were there previous and maybe the moisture brought out the oil on it or whatever. No, they were never there. There was no moisture in between. There was no dirt. There was no nothing. The reason I replaced it was because of the bottom track had to be all pulled out. And I thought, well, brand new doors would be great. That was just one thing that happened in that house. My daughters were coming home from school. No, my oldest was coming home from a friend's place. My youngest was already home. Okay. My daughter come up the road and went into the backyard to come in through those doors. And she comes in, she says, hey, Mom, she says, I'm not going to say my daughter's name because she didn't like it on here. Does she have a friend here who's this little girl that she's playing with? And I said, well, no, she's in the bedroom she's playing. There's nobody here. She goes, well, there's a little girl sitting out on the hammock. Who's that? And I went, well, there's nobody out there. Yeah, there is. She's right there. Now, my girls were probably about, like I said, about 8 and 10. Maybe a little bit older, but not much. Okay, when this all happened. And she saw a little girl sitting on our hammock, swinging back and forth. She smiled at her as she came into the house. The girl smiled back at her. You know, what was that? There was nobody there. Another thing that happened in that house, they were sleeping in their beds. They had bunk beds. The youngest was on the top. The oldest was on the bottom. And they had a TV, and there was maybe about 3 feet from the side of the bed to the television. And the television was more down by their feet area against the wall. My oldest woke up one night and saw the television, and it was all snow, all that white snow. And in front of the TV, on the floor at the base of the bed, was a really dark figure sitting there, watching nothing but snow. It freaked her out like there's no tomorrow. Like, she come right to me, Mom, and then she's freaking out. That was another thing that happened. Through that hallway, through the bedrooms, you'd always see something in your peripheral. Like, you'd always see somebody in the archway. There's just so much that happened in that house. There'd be knocks on the side of the house. Things would be moved. Now, if she's going to watch this, she'll probably tell me some more stories that I can't remember. But yeah, there's a lot that happens. When I first moved here, if you watch my second video, you'd know that I moved here to take care of my mother. So when I first moved here, this house is our family, it's the family home. We've had generations of our family here. Okay. My dad, before he passed, had made a garbage bin, and it's out of wood. And when you let the top down, it's pretty distinguishable. Like, you know that sound. There's not another sound like it in the house. This wood garbage can, like the lid coming down. Well, Mom had gone to bed. She had already gone to bed, and I'm sitting out in the TV room, and I'm watching TV, and there's no lights on except for the TV light. I'd say maybe that's about, I don't know, 20 years away or something. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden I look over, and a black figure walks from this door across the kitchen. And it is like, it almost looks like moonlight. That's what kind of settings I'm trying to get across. It wasn't bright light. It wasn't black. It wasn't like you could see out there, but it was very, very dim. This black figure walks across from the living room, across the kitchen, and all of a sudden I hear that lid. Bang! And I'm sitting there, and I mute the TV, and I went, okay. I said, Mom's got to be up. So I'm waiting for Mom to come back from where the garbage can is, across the kitchen, to go back upstairs. Nothing's happening. Nobody's coming. So I thought, well, screw this. I'm going up, and I walked to the kitchen, and of course, you guessed it. Yes, there's nobody there. And I thought, well, what the hell? Who was that? So I go to the bottom of the stairs. It's like, hey, Mom, did you just come down? No, didn't come down. It's like, okay, now that was just too freaking weird. Like, I actually saw a black figure walk across. Now, there's been some other stuff happening too, and I have no idea what it is. Now, I won't get into that. So, anyway, I guess the topic, obviously, for today is the paranormal. I love hearing stories. I love hearing ghost stories, as long as it's real. I can't watch a Hollywood movie. Like, I can't watch, say, Halloween, or I can't watch anything that has to do with Hollywood. I could hardly get through the Blair Witch Project, okay? It freaks me out. I just can't. I can watch it. I just said I couldn't. But I can watch it. But in the middle of the night, it plays up my subconscious, and I end up having like freaking nightmares over it. But that's Hollywood. But if I get onto YouTube or something, and I watch all these YouTube, some of them are bull, some of them are just crap. I know they are. They're putting it on, but some of them you got to look at them. You got to go, huh? I wonder, is that real? It's got to be. No way. Well, maybe it is. Things like that don't scare me. I can watch anything like that, and it don't scare me. But you put on a Hollywood movie that's something that, say, somebody's getting all chopped up, or anyway, Amityville Horror. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I can never get that out right. But you know what I mean. I can't get through those because it's too Hollywood. Like, it's just, they've gone way too much. So, anyway, that being said, that's my Sunday. It's beautiful. It's sunny. Snow is just falling down a little bit. I was thinking I might take my phone, and one day I might go through the bush, because where I live here, I live right on the Bay of Fundy, which is the Atlantic Ocean. Now, on the Bay of Fundy, we have the highest tides in the world. I'm going to have to look that up, because me not being from here originally, I don't know all this little ins and outs of the area, so I guess I better get on that. But I know I just don't retain it. So, yeah, so I might take my phone down and just show you exactly, like, the crashing of the waves on the rocks, and the beautiful trees and snow, and I got a whole bunch of pictures of coyotes and bobcats right, like, I don't know, I'd say about 70 feet from my backyard. I got this huge bobcat that's hanging around here. His back must be at least 3.5 feet. Never mind the head, so he's about 4 feet tall. Like, this thing is huge. And it's only like 75 feet from my back door. So, yeah, I'm living in pretty much heaven here. I love it. I love it. I wish my daughter moved down. Anyway, maybe one day. So, yeah, so I'm having a good Sunday. It's been a pretty crappy week, so I didn't know what I was going to come on and talk about. But I think I did pretty good, having no subject at all. The paranormal. Yes, I am a believer. Absolutely. We have no proof that says no, right? But people say they got proof out there that says yes. It's up to you to believe, whether or not you believe in it or not. Keep an open mind. We don't know everything in this world. There's things out there we have no idea about. The earth has been around for millions of years. And all of a sudden, when we show up, it's like, oh yeah, we know everything. Yeah. Keep an open mind. Anyway, with that being said, I think I'll sign off. And you have a great day. Enjoy the weather wherever you are, even if it's blowing snow and you're in the house. Cuddle up in a blanket and have a good tea. Okay? You have a great day, and I'll see you next time. I'll try and get back and do another one as soon as I can. Great. Bye.